Hi, I'm Rania, founder of R2R Coaching. I am a relationship coach, a Reiki practitioner. I practice energy healing in several modalities. I've been a blogger for a few years now and soon to be published writer. But I do these videos right here on my channel in order to educate about several relationship topics. The series that I've invested a lot of my time and effort in is this series of narcissism. It seems to be that in this day and age, everyone is experiencing a narcissist in their life. Or maybe you've already been subjected to narcissistic abuse, but never knew how to label it, never knew what was really going on. But now, because there is more knowledge, we're able to label it. We're able to understand the people that we end up in relations with, whether it be partnerships, or their family members, or their co-workers, or their friends. Narcissism is out there and it's real. And the more you educate yourself about how to handle them, how to cope being in such relationships, better yet, learn how to escape the relationship and leave it behind and then heal from it. This is what I'm here to do. This is why all of my videos are going to be mostly intense. Of course, I'm going to try and make it humorous, but there's not much humor in narcissism and being abused. Please do subscribe to my channel. Share them with your friends. Share them with someone who needs to hear the message that I am putting out there. I put a lot of work into this. I put a lot of work into it because I want to help others who don't have the knowledge. Because once upon a time, I didn't have the knowledge. I wasn't very well educated. Hell, I didn't even know what narcissism was just a few years ago. But now I can tell you, I know a lot more, and thank God that I do, because it's helping me a great deal. Thank you for subscribing, thank you for watching, and thank you for sharing.
Hello, and once again, welcome to my channel. Today's a bit windy, so you might hear some sounds. I'm gonna try and do my best in the editing process, but can't help it. Happens to be a windy day, and I'm not having a really good hair day today, but whatever, what can I do? Anyways, back to our favorite subject, the narcissism subject. Today I want to cover a very important point, which is how to get the courage to leave the narcissist. Here's the thing, it is not easy to leave the narcissist. It is not easy at all to break off all ties, walk away, and go no contact. I'm sure by now you've been hearing this, and if you haven't, I'm telling you here now, the best way to handle the breakup with a narcissist is to disappear, go no contact. Any contact whatsoever is gonna bring you back into the dynamic, into the toxicity of the narcissist. So yeah, I'm here advising you, when you do break up, when you come to that point and you take the action, do not look back. Move only forward. Think only of yourself. And I'm gonna backtrack a bit and start talking about how to get the courage to get to that point. So let's start with the first thing. Now, I did not prepare this, what I'm gonna say at all. This is all gonna come straight from my mind, so I don't know how it's gonna come out. Normally I like to prepare my notes and then refer to them. Something inspired me today and said, I want to record this video and I'm just gonna speak from the heart. And I'll see how that goes, okay? So yes, go back to number one. Number one thing in order to get the courage to leave your narcissist behind is know that you are being abused. That is the number one. If you don't get it through your head that you're being abused, nothing else will work. That is the number one thing. Have no doubt whatsoever what you are experiencing is a toxic, unhealthy relationship. You are being abused. And please, I want to rectify some misconceptions here when people say, this doesn't really qualify as abuse. Okay. Abuse isn't just when someone hits you. That's not the only definition of abuse. Please get that out of your head, because there's a lot of people out there that think, oh, well, it's not really abuse if they're not hitting me. They don't have to hit you in order for them to be abusive, on the physical front anyways. There are other things that they could be doing, violating your personal space in whatever means, holding your hand tightly or whatever that is. That's still physical abuse. It's still considered abuse. And if you need more confirmation, please go read about it online, the signs of what physical abuse are. And I remember that I covered some of these in my very first video in the narcissism series, the introduction to narcissism. I spoke about abuse, I spoke about the types of abuse, and I specifically described what it looks like to be physically abused and to be emotionally abused, which is the next thing I'm going to talk about now. So please, if you haven't watched that, subscribe to the channel right now so you don't forget, and go back and see that video. Okay, back to the topic of the meaning of being abused, knowing that you are abused, getting that through your head. So yes, I already covered about the signs of being physically abused and the misconceptions we have. And then there's the emotional and psychological abuse. Of course, there's the verbal abuse, which is, I think anybody can figure that one out. If you're being called, if you're called names, if you're being cursed at, if you're being talked down to, this is verbal abuse / emotional abuse. But emotional abuse can actually not be so obvious. They're very conniving, and they think that they're just being smart, and they're outsmarting you. They're very calculated in everything they say and in everything they do. Every move is calculated. You'll find them sitting alone a lot. Guess why? Because they're calculating. They're thinking about their next move, what they're going, how they're gonna handle you, how they're gonna find a way to get you under more control, to be more submissive, to get more out of you, to be their supply. That's why you're in their life to begin with. You're supplying them with what they need, whatever those needs are to each person. But what they need to do is to emotionally and psychologically control you and abuse you, so you lose your grip on reality, and to lose your self-confidence and to lose your self-esteem. So they're going to be saying words to you that they're going to belittle you. They're going to devalue what you do, even if it's in little hints, you know, by saying, you don't know how to do this. You'll find them say that a lot. You don't know how to do this. Or, let me help you. Let me do that for you. I know how to do it better. They'll say things around that. It could be exactly what I just said, or it could be around that. So again, when it comes to psychological and emotional abuse, they're playing on your mind. They're messing with you in every way, in your day-to-day life, in the simplest things. For example, they could have misplaced something, and then you ask them about where it went, and they're going to blame you and make you believe that you were the one who put it somewhere different. Meanwhile, it was them all along. But they're never going to admit that they're the ones that messed up. They're never going to admit that. They're going to play with you all the time. It's going to be your fault all the time. They're going to make you question the events that happen. They're going to make you question your reality. They're going to say something to you, and you're going to be like calling them out on it, if you are calling them out on it. And then they're going to say, I didn't say that, right there when it just happened. They'll switch what they say all the time. They'll accuse you of doing something, and then when you say, well, you're doing it too. No, I'm not. They're gonna deny that they're doing something that they're actually doing, and you see that they're doing it. But no, they're not. Or they're gonna justify it and say, but it's different. So I know you're gonna say, but that seems kind of normal. A lot of people who are not narcissists do some of these things, and it's true. It is true. A lot of people have these. These are a little bit of narcissistic tendencies. That's why you watch out for it. That's why you call out the behavior. There are people who are going to be doing it, and these people have the narcissistic tendencies. We all do it. I've done it. I've done things that could qualify under the narcissistic tendencies, but I'm not a narcissist. What qualifies someone as a narcissist is way more than just a few behaviors and habits here and there. It's their makeup, their being, the way they think, the way they behave, the way they treat you, the way they treat others, the way they think about themselves, the way they think about the world, the way they interact with everything around them, with themselves, with the world, with you. Okay, so back to the topic. I don't want to lose track of... See, this is exactly why I write my notes, so I can stick to it, because I can go off and there's so many things to be discussed and to be brought up to your attention, so you would see it, and maybe you're experiencing it and you're like, oh yeah, I didn't pay attention to that. But yeah, that's what I'm here to do. Okay, back again. So the number one is to know that you are being abused, whether it be physical, emotional, psychological, verbal. And also I've discussed that you could be under financial abuse. They could be using your credit. They could be taking loans on your behalf. They could be making you take a loan in your name to pay for something for them. They could just be using your property. They could be using you to stay with you because, you know, things are not going well for them. They're not in the best financial situation. They're taking advantage of you. Just watch out for signs that could explain financial abuse. I'm not going to go into more details of that because I talked about it in another video. The second thing that you need to know in order to have the courage to leave the narcissist is that they're never going to change. You can't fix them yourself. Get that through your head. No matter how good you are, no matter what an amazing person you are, you're not going to be able to change them. Not because you can't, because they are unredeemable. They are unfixable, unchangeable, unless they choose to do it themselves, unless they see that there truly is a problem with who they are and the way they behave and they treat people, and dedicate to serious therapy with a professional that specializes, not any therapist, specializes in narcissistic personality disorder. Because it is very difficult for narcissists to accept who they have been. They don't accept that their whole makeup is on, I don't know how else to say it other than wrong foundation. The way they process things is messed up, I guess is the best word I can use here. That's just the way it is. You can't change them. And if you think you're gonna stick it out because you've invested a lot of time into this relationship already, a lot of money maybe into the relationship, or whatever it is you feel you've invested, don't invest anymore. Cut your losses and leave. They're not going to change. You're not going to be able to fix them. And it's not your responsibility, your job, your duty to do that. You know why I say this so passionately? Because I made that mistake. Because I thought, oh my God, Rania, you're a relationship coach. You can't try to fix this relationship, try to help him out. That's what I thought. Silly me. Paid the price for that. But anyways, It's not really about me, but I do bring up myself from time to time to show you an example. I made the mistake of thinking I can help him change. With therapy, he can change. And let's not forget that he played that card very well and tried to convince me that he was changing. He indeed started to change his behavior, but he did it 180 and sudden. You think I'd pick up on that and realize, hey, how real can that be? But again, silly me, and I don't want to use any other word, but silly me, I wanted to believe it. And I chose to believe it. That got me in way deeper than I should have. Again, a mistake I made, I learned from it, but here I am now, back on my feet and teaching it to you. Sharing what I did and letting you know that what I did doesn't work. And it doesn't mean because I wasn't able to make it work, that means someone else is maybe you're going to be able to make it work. It's not about who's able. It's not about ability or capability. It's about what you're dealing with, your subject. What is the subject? You're dealing with a narcissist who's been like this for all their lives. The majority of their lives, possibly from childhood, it began some of those behaviors and characteristics, and it continued on in adulthood, and God knows at what age you're meeting them. They're stuck like this. That's all they know. They know how to live life like this. They don't see what they're doing is wrong at all. They're going to find fault in every point that you are going to bring up, and they're going to tell you that you're the one that don't know how life is supposed to be, or that you got it all wrong, and they're going to try and correct you based on their ideals, their beliefs, if they have any. The number 3 point that can help you have the courage to leave the narcissist behind is something I know is going to be very hard for you to swallow, because it was hard for me. They never loved you. I'm sorry to tell you that. They never loved you. Not because you're unlovable, not because you're not worthy, and not because that you're not good enough. You are all those things and more. They didn't love you because they don't know how to love. They don't understand the meaning of love. Their idea of what love is very shallow and meaningless. They think love is a certain way, by the things they do, by having fun, by presents. They don't know intimacy, real intimacy. Kissing and hugging you in bed isn't intimacy. Intimacy is when you're able to be yourself with someone. Intimacy is when you're not being knocked down. Intimacy is not when you're being called names. Intimacy is when you're truly sharing life together, not being controlled by what the narcissists think, what needs to happen and how things need to go. They don't know how to be intimate in a relationship. They use the relationship and they use the person that's in their life at the time to give them supply for what they need to fulfill their desires. Whatever those desires are. Every narcissist is different and what they need is different, but at the end of the day, they all need the same thing, which is to have a fake image in front of the world, that they are perfect, they have the perfect life, and that they are the best person ever, and that they know everything. They need validation, they need attention. That's who they are. That's who they are continue going to be if you don't leave. The abuse is going to continue. It's not going to stop. It may even escalate and get worse from wherever it is at the point where you're experiencing it. So if you're asking yourself, can it get any worse? Yes, it can. Because narcissists don't have a grip on their emotions, on their reactions, on their triggers. I've covered this in another video, and it's about, I believe you need to watch it, which is how is a narcissist triggered. The narcissist is triggered by every single thing that's happening around them 24/7. They are in reaction mode all the time. So don't think that, okay, well, if I work on, try not to push their buttons and try and, okay, let's say you do that. First of all, you're not going to be able to stop them triggering themselves. That's one. The second thing, why do you want to live like that? Don't you realize that that is actually abuse too? If you have to walk around eggshells, that's a form of you being abused because you're not being yourself. If you have to change who you are, if you have to watch what you're saying, or if you have to be careful when to say something and how to say it, I'm not talking about being politically correct and diplomatic and being nice. Yeah, we do that in general with people, but I'm talking about being on edge at all times because you don't know how the narcissist is going to react to what you say or do or request. You shouldn't have to live in fear of, if you decide you want to go out today and you don't know what they're going to say to you, because we all know that they believe they own you, you're their possession, so you can't do anything without their permission. They have to be okay with it, and usually they're not okay with it. If all these things don't give you the courage to leave, God, I don't know what would. They're abusing you. They're not going to change. They never loved you, so what you're living is a lie. What more do you need to take that decision and leave? You have kids? I get it. It's not easy. I'm not saying it's easy. Okay, it was easy for me because I didn't. I get that it's a much more complicated situation, but can you find a solution to it? Yes, you can. Have you been with them most of your life and now you're figuring out, damn, what do? I can't take this anymore. I gotta get out. I'm losing myself here. I've lost myself already. And maybe you're getting, support from people saying, come on, get out, come out, we'll help you. And you're thinking, how am I gonna do all of this alone? You can. Look for help, look for support. Okay, another scenario is you're cut off from the world. You have no family, you have no friends, you're with your narcissist in a different country, not even your own hometown, and they're controlling all the finances, everything. Isn't there some women's shelter, someone out there that you can go and ask for help? Are you working? Okay, maybe you are, maybe you aren't. Start to save up some money on the side so you can get a ticket and go back home. Leave everything behind. Go. Is this your new home and you want to stay there? Okay, find a way to make that happen. What I'm saying is, you can find solutions to every reason you're going to say why I can't leave. Everything has a solution. You cannot tell me that, no, I'm stuck, that's it, can't get out. No matter how difficult, no matter how difficult the situation may be, there is a solution. You just have to think of it. You have to find it. You have to want to find it. If you keep saying, I can't because, you're already blocking your mind from finding the solution. If you're just sitting in the pain and the helplessness and thinking that That's it. I can't get out. I'm stuck. I'm done. You're doing this to yourself. Because you can choose differently. You can choose to say, I know it's crappy right now and it's probably the worst situation ever. Fine, you want to say that? Say that. It's reality. We're not going to sugarcoat it. But then the statement that comes after that is, I will find a way. It can take weeks, it can take months. Hopefully it doesn't take years, because by then God knows what will happen to you. But if it takes a while to plan what you need to plan, to figure things out so you can get out safely, you can do it. Please, please do it. Leave and don't stay in this abuse any longer. Don't lose any more of yourself than you already have. The children that's there, they're going to be better off not living in that toxic environment. Hopefully, you're going to be protected and have shared custody. Or hopefully, you'll be able to have proof that they are not a fit parent and get them out of your child's life. Hopefully. But again, every situation is different. Every country is different. I understand that it's not that simple. I come from a country where there's laws and there's rights, there's women rights. And I know in certain countries that help isn't there. But then seek for help. Go online. If your own country is not helping you, go online and ask for help from the online community. You'll find it. You'll find tips. You'll find something. Get the courage to leave the narcissist behind. And I'm going to say it one more time. I know it is not easy. I know it's not easy. And some situations are more complicated than others. I get that. But what I do believe is one general thing, is that where there is a will, there is a way. And when you take action, when you decide and you take action, things will flow in the direction where you need to go, because you finally want to break free. And guess what? The universe will provide to you what your heart desires. Believe in it 100%. And it will happen for you. I'm not saying it's going to be the best scenario and you're going to live, the best life right after you leave them. It will take time. But eventually, you will. Because you will start to heal. And that's what I want for you. To heal from the toxic relationship that you have been in with the narcissist. And live the life you were meant to live. I'm going to end it right here because I think I blabbed on for too long. I thought this was going to be a short video, but I think this probably went on longer than I anticipated. Like I said, I had no idea what I was going to say, but it just came out. I'm sure there are more things that I could have said to give you the courage to leave, but these were the 3 that came to my mind and I stuck to them. Of course, I will cover more about the narcissism subject in my narcissism series on this channel. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And until next time, take care of yourselves. Ciao, ciao.
I hope you liked this video. Please do hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram and on Facebook. Thank you for watching.